Setting a portal for the final ring. Get ready to take it. No, look at that. Just go as slow as you can, dude, on that ring's edge. I think that's your best bet. I'm trying to stay up top. Can you go around out to the right so you can go farther? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh! You're good. Alright, man. Alright, swap. You gotta go mow your grass. Know where they live. Alright. Let's live on like the west coast. You got 40. Where's the third team? There we go. They're rushing each other. Wait, not even one person's knocked yet. Yes, let's wait. Oh, you got it. Oh, he's gold. That's 2 squads, just you. There you go. Oh, that was the guys that killed me. That was the rat's nest. That boy got 0. That's funny. That's funny, man. It's been a really good day, just a lot of work, busy. What about you? It's good, man. That was just a... That stuff happens. What's up, Frosty? Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all a lot. Thanks, man. Potato Jumper. That should be your name. That's actually kind of cool. Ooh, actually I did have a good meal today. I'm not eating now though, it's 1 o'clock. Alright, they're going to Octane. They're going to... Is there somebody by y'all? I felt like I heard multiple streams. I want that. What kind of controller do you play with? Did you get that Peacekeeper? Alright, thank you. Oh, you got it too, dude. It's sick, isn't it? It's compared to any other controller. It's the Elite V2. It's not even comparable to any other controller. It has new mechanics. Oh, right here, right here, right here. He ain't rushing, but yep. I don't know if he's running or what. I don't see him. Oh, he's up top, up top. He's up top. He's up top on the... Right here. I think this is 2 teams, dude. There's a... Behind you, behind you. He's almost dead. Knocked, knocked. I'm also low. No. It's almost dead. No. Dang it. Should have kept looking at her. And she'd come back. I was. It's cool. Oh, it's good. If you're trying to help, it's better than somebody sitting there silent. Oh. No, I did knew what you meant. I just, by that time I was going back door and she was already coming back, so I couldn't have turned around. Dang it. He's this way. Lasered that lifeline. She rushed you. I lasered her with you and then she was down. What just happened? I died. I don't know. She was flesh with me. Yeah, I hit her the first shot for 30, and then after that it was just used it too. Unreal. Get him? This is a pretty basic lobby so far. Sounds good to me. Yeah, there's a lot of people in there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got cooked. That's what happened. What happened with you, homie? Did you get that bot? Hear it. Where is he? The Havoc? With the controller? OP. They're following us behind us. Yeah, definitely. It's better than the R301. You gotta start playing around your shield more when we need to. I haven't done that at all. Yeah, get in that. There we go. Oh, no, that's it. Running, keep running. Yeah, I'm just not used to having Gibraltar on the team. Not many people play him. I'll make it. I'm up here. I might get lasered in my back. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go out right side. They didn't even loot it. Or they did loot it. They looted everything. See, they went to market. I'm gonna look down here. Yeah, they went to market. See, there's people over here. Is there a loot? Yep. Y'all do it? Yeah, y'all get their attention. I'm going low side. Alright. You can get him, he's down. Below you with purple, coming up to you, coming up to you. Be careful. I'm rushing this guy. I'm rushing him. Purple. He just healed. He just popped. I got him 190 though. Controller gang. Just like the way Lifeline moves, dude. She's got the pop and movement. Chop! Run! I'm sorry, I can't get you back. There's a whole team. There's a whole team. Can you hear me? I almost got them back, and they're literally right there. I'm gonna delete this real quick. They're pushing. You setting your portal? I'm good. I'm good. You're good. Go. Got no energy. Need energy. Do you want to bait them in, possibly? They're over here too. Their market coming through. Yeah, let's just get out of here. Can we go up through here? Go hit the zip line right here. And then let's get them back. I stream lately every day. Every day I usually start about 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm trying to be more consistent. A bunch of gunfight up here. Oh, I'm getting him back, so just make sure if you rush, don't get too far. Still 11 squads, so it's 33 people. I need my Kraber anyways. Oh, dude, nothing. Yeah, from somewhere. There's a bunch of stuff there for you, man. Here. Here's a purple, get that bad boy. There's people here? I'm saying, is there? I see him like... Alright, because I see is this... Oh, you wanna... Let's just wait. Yeah. Oh, we did get a purple. Let's go. Back in the game already, boy. Here. Right here. You good? It's called teamwork. They're in the pillar. Yeah, they're in the pillar, so by the time we get there, there's one guy knocked already. It's close. One's close. To the bottom. They're setting, another team setting up. So that's a... He's coming up right here. He's coming up. I think he just dropped off. He's dead. Alright. Make sure we watch that zip line. What do I want? I got a prowler. Come up here. He did. He's almost at purple Evo, so. Whoa, behind you! Run, run, run! I hit him. You got your ult? We're in a bad spot. He's getting us out. He's almost dead. I'm taking portal. Yep. I cracked the Wraith. I don't think so. If they did, that would be a very unwise choice. It's your portal. Why does it look like that? Looks weird. Let's roll. Yeah, let's go this way.
Is anybody in this green building right here?
Yep, let's go. Let's go Hydro Dam. I'm pushing.
That's it.
I'm gonna loot over here. I'm looking for a wingman if we find one. I'm ready for it. Tons of shield cells.
Guy, hold on.
Watch out.
Oh,
Yeah,
just there.
you got a prowler.
Gotta go. There too.
There's nowhere open. We have no defense. Yeah, and that team obviously that's in the pillar, they're gonna stay there. You want to go farthest out over there? What do you want to do? Okay. I need some energy ammo. Oh, there it is. Yes.
Try to get him in the head.
Said there was. There it is. Are they coming?
Oh, so did I. Oh,
I'm watching out here.
okay, guy over here. Guy over there. He went right in here. We're gonna have to press him.
Alright,
He comes
I'm
out
about
this
10
way.
seconds behind you.
Someone shoot him. Oh, you went up. You went up top.
Do you want me to try to get you a purple, Johnny?
Let's go this way.
Here.
Come and get your birthday present.
Because there's only 8 teams, so I don't know when you might have a chance to get that much damage.
One's down.
Got over money on a white tee. Got them haters trying hard not to like me. They say I'm going too
Press him.
far, and I might be. I'd rather go too hard for the right thing. I put on for the team everywhere I go. Still go, so the pesos when in Mexico. Steady up, but I rep it when the steady low. My guy said he never leave. And I never pull up in and drop like it's summertime. Top down, play it loud so the sun will shine. You can't please everyone every time. We'll be okay. Maybe you were never meant to feel us. Cause it's only for the real ones. You try to hold us down, but we still up.
Yeah.
Do it for the real
1
ones.
minute. Rings not far.
So tell them they can hate on me. Homie, I ain't never been low key. I'ma rep my team.
Nope. Shooting. Taking this. Get on top.
We're fighting, Deagle. Let him fight.
I know that no weapon formed against me shall prosper since I've been reborn. So even if I'm in the eye of the storm, I will trust you with
Prox alert. Prox alert. Sounds like a pro. Prox alert. You just killed somebody, headshot, triple take, so. Yeah, I think the wall is the best. 'Cause that limits who can get there.
Okay, he's down. Behind us, Deagle. Behind us.
Somebody could have a Craver, be careful. There's a world drop right there.
White.
Oh, there's two. Alright, there's 2 teams. It's also a nice,
I have
beautiful.
one extra, but I'm gonna use fill up real quick.
Can you? There's a world drop right there. I think you should set a portal there. You want to shoot at him? dropped.
Punching a tunnel.
Oh, that guy got whacked. What's in there, Kraber? You don't want it? Oh, I thought you didn't like it.
Get it if you can. Tigo, let's do it 2-on-2. 2-on-2, Tigo. See anybody? I'm gonna be on top of here. I'm gonna be on top of us. Wow, they're gonna be behind us.
I think we can stay here, dude.
Wow,
Safe
they're gonna be
here.
behind us. We're calling it.
Yeah, this is still in the ring. I think we should stay here. I mean, because the only place someone can shoot us even from right here is if they were over there or right here. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're Pathfinder.
Need to recharge my shield.
Yes. It's probably going to end either there or it can end right around us.
Told you they're gonna be behind us. You knew it. You knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Knew it.
They're going to get up here. Get ready. Get ready. They're probably going to. They have a Pathfinder. Right here, then. That's where they're going.
They had a whole squad though. Or no, they didn't. They only had 2.
45, Evo.
Dang it, Stigo, we almost had that.
Target spotted.
There they go. Oh, that's 2 teams. Nice, nice. Turtle him.
Oh, dude, we started sniping.
Flesh, flesh. This guy's cracked. He's flesh. He's about to die. Watch him, watch him. He's gonna come out right here. They killed him.
Kept checking the sensor, didn't
Yeah, we're good right here, dude.
Round 5, beginning ring countdown.
Right here. Right here. Nice. There's a guy right here. Right here. Right here. Watch out, watch out. He dropped down here. He's got gold now. Or not gold, red. Yeah, I think we should do that. Oh, we know those are no full or broken down teams. That's probably that solo. Yep, let's drop. Yeah, we're good. Are they up there? No. Oh, 9 seconds. He's gonna drop right when the. Yep. All right, get down here, because this team's gonna push up. I'm gonna try to get a purple so then we can hot swap it. They're right here. Watch right here, Johnny. Watch right here. Laser this guy with me. He's about to jump. He's about to jump. Get ready. Unless he's dying. He's behind that wall. Yep, they're dead. They're dead. He's right here. You took what?
I'm speaking to the masses.
Is there a purple in there?
From the focus of my life and build my mental health. Today
Can you do, big boy play, do the ult to push them off in front of us, and then we can laser them.
put my name on the wall. Just make sure that they know.
Right, and I think he should do his ult to push him off from top. You know what I mean?
My headshots are getting pretty
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should. Right, that's what we're talking about. He should do it. I'm saying he should do his ult. That's what we're saying. You're gonna be like right at, yeah, right at the time. Just trying to see what they're planning on doing. One sec.
Where?
All right, you ready? Get ready. Here he is. He's cracked. Pathfinder's almost knocked. Pathfinder's almost knocked. Nice. This is the last guy. This is the last guy. Let's go.
I was watching that too. I seen you trying to creep up with
He said Twitch is way better than watching people on YouTube. I'm glad you're enjoying it more.
Wait, I got on shot of the soul siller. There ain't no money won't fulfill. Sign with him for a good price, eternal life. Go figure my God a little dealer.
How you doing, Bright?
In the end, you can get a good feeling. Me and my producer, we both under 18. Yahweh got a back going early on a dream. Won't never sell my soul for fancy riches. I do this for the
I thought you were about to
not no itty bitty green. I got 2.2K plays in under 2 days. Can't give Lucy time of the day.
Alright, give me this. There you go. Nice work.
Right in this place, cause friends is just feeding for fun and some fame. Got too many reasons I run at this race. Too many reasons I go at this pace. Got too
Yeah, it
many
was.
people that ride in my way. The goal on my mind and I stay in my lane. I just might pop off. These guys might pop, yeah. Now we're gonna change again.
Oh, more.
Knocking your socks off. Used to talk nice stuff. Now you got like jaws, yeah. Man, it just plain insane. Papa done popped off. But baby, you know I go crazy. Psych, I ain't never had babies, but maybe one day I might win. God just gave me a lady. You hop in Mercedes, I hop in my Rio. I got a quote explain why they so frio. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dios. Got father and son.
Yeah, getting to diamonds easy.
Ready? 3.
It's getting to yeah, say when you get into diamond.
You to my crash in the
Got one.
playlist. Don't care about the ratings or plays on a station, cause I can have plays, but my soul still be vacant. Your man from the bottom, blessed at the
That was perfect timing, dude.
I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop. My team coming up, yeah, we pop. They got on our side. We keep it on lock. They hate to see us on the
If you're
pop.
with me,
Hey,
I'm
we
with
on the
you.
move on the way. I've been praying for people for days. Got my girl and she know that I pray. Got my family and know I'm a I wanna move with my God. Ain't no way that I'm ever gonna fade. Yeah, I got this dream. I'ma go home with the king. Favor on me since I stepped on the scene. But no, I ain't Jerry, but I had a gleam. Yeah, man.
Papa popped off on the real dough. Cup filled to the brim, ain't no steam low. We big but still Christian like Tebow. This just ain't price, I ain't talking placebo. Yeah, he popped off. This how cause God is my rock. I know I can't turn back the clock, but I'll still be doing this thing till I drop. Amen.
What is YT YouTube?
Are we pressing on that sniper?
You know you can stream with Restream on everything. You can use Restream to.
Let's hit quarry up.
Here we go. Ready up.
Anybody loot this building yet? Up here.
Yeah, I got a pretty
Anybody
good
need
set too.
light machine gun or anything over here?
Be careful going over there pretty far. Did someone land here?
I do. We're here.
I'm just trying to get armor, dude. He landed over here. Yeah, he's by me. I'm running. He's by me. He's right here. He's below me. He's over here. He's knocked. He's knocked. He's knocked. Jumping down. He's going to the bottom. Got him.
You made the right choices.
Watch me quit.
Thank you. Give me my shield to recharge.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna go right here, here. I swear.
I need that first if I end
Yeah, you know, a third party's coming.
up. That's actually my sin.
What do you have so many questions about, my friend? I'm just talking to my chat. Dude, why did you stop healing me? Come on. Who created you? Okay. Yeah, that's what I waxed him with. Right here. There's a whatever there. Yeah, it's far though.
Yeah, I died. It lagged on me. Of course it did.
Just gotta be careful. There's a lot of teams that went this way, and there's a lot of predators in this lobby. Alright, I'm just saying, like, compared to last game, this game, literally 10 plus teams with predators. Last game, I didn't even see maybe one or two.
Sometimes I'm acting, feel like a banker. Gotta find a balance, cause my life is like I'm sitting at the S-Speeds. Everybody here ballin' except me. I'm just trying to keep my fan gassed up. Trying not to get jealous when the range passes. You know everybody in Atlanta got a nice one. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm just trying to keep the lights on. Said I have it all together by 25, but 25 came and went.
Looks like a care package is coming in. Big things in that.
2 years later, what have I done? I guess time flies trying to find funds. Never did I ever.
Who's got sniper ammo?
Do you turn up the tension on your sticks at all? Do you have them at base level?
Money can't buy happiness, but I wouldn't mind crying.
Right.
I know you got a plan for me, but honestly it's something I don't understand, no. Until God is enough, nothing else will ever be. I burnt a lot of bridges screwing up. I hope they light a path to a better me, yeah. I hope they light a path to a better me,
Is that full? That body shield. This one is not full. Is it full?
Family call me Alan, students used to call me Mr. Troop call me Daddy, not too many calls.
Tigo, are you on top of the building?
Leash on the mirror. I'm looking at the downfall of us, it's in the mirror. Wishing we could get them years back. You could get them tears back. Everything I did was
they're gonna be.
hoping you can hear that. Yeah, I got regrets, no mistaking it. Don't know how much stress I could take when my mama in the next room crying. Cause that cancer make her feel like she dying. This the second time and I can't do a dang thing about it. And she weeping cause that treatment drained in her pockets. But I got a hole in mine. Grandma telling me to hold the guy. Bill collector on the other line. Mama, can you hold the call? Asking them, can I post that? Government assistance is my Postmates. It'll all work out is what I'm supposed to say. But I'm hurting now, it's one of those days.
Calling in. They're coming out. They're coming out. Hide, hide, hide. What you doing? No, I thought that they might land on us, so I was just want to surprise them. Yeah, I'm not saying like literally. Hide, run! Run! Oh, there's the last one. That's the last one. That's the third one. Yeah, dude, there's 30. This lobby is entirely different from the last, so. Yeah, because as soon as there's a battle, it doesn't matter how good you are at this point. It's gonna be all about smarts. Slide?
Guy with the shield or a different guy?
That was me.
Oh, there's 3 dropping. Helicopter.
Possible.
Got them right here.
They could have been running. Yo!
Oh, go.
Oh. Nope. Come on. Can I do this?
Okay, now we got people behind us. We probably should keep it pushing.
Target spotted.
Oh, he's good. We're not as cool as you. I'm gonna set a portal.
Giving my shields a recharge. It's the remix.
I'm gonna peek from right here.
The real mix.
Yeah, now we're in a very bad spot. That's portal. That's portal. Let's go this way.
Recharging shields.
Let's just go. Let's just go. Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Gotta heal. Taking a knee.
What's the point of writing all of these lyrics if I'm rapping to an audience that ain't trying to hear it? They'd rather me blow a bag than rap about building wealth. They'd rather me get some brain than rap about mental health. Don't censor me. Eventually,
Any push at this point is bad. There's 33 people.
Hey, Tigo.
33 people, and there's guaranteed 20 predators. Any predator team, anybody of that level. Ah, hey, how you doing in there? Doing good? Okay, come here. Somebody left that in there, a purple. So that's cool. All right. Nah, no one's gonna. I don't even think try that right now. On us?
All the way back there.
I gotta go, dude. Almost dead. Sorry. Right, our comms were just kind of filled with other stuff, Twitch banners and other things. So that's like if you get in a lobby like that, that's how you gotta focus and play, because that's what those guys are doing. You know, they've gotten 3,000 points versus the best players in the world. You know, those 3,000 points after Master, those come from killing the best people. Yeah, all they were doing is just sitting still. I turned the corner, they lasered me, and then the other one came around and lasered him through the window. Just if you want to get points at that level, you just gotta every second focus, really, because this level is unforgiving.
Oh, there's 3 of them.
At Platinum, you can make many mistakes, but Predator, Diamond, Master, if you want to rank up, you can't make many mistakes.
They know we're here. They know
I don't mind. This is what we were always playing before. Almost got there. Almost got to Master. This lobby's better. Yeah, that's good.
Here we go. Ready up.
This lobby is better. No. No. Get it. Yeah. You're good. Yeah, whenever you're a jump master, I'll be the eyes for you. Yep, we're good. Yeah, I want to play at this level. I don't really care about playing at like platinum level. It doesn't make me any better. I got into platinum like past platinum mini season. Trying to get to masters. I need to play patient, and no one's here. Nope, let's go. Yeah, the only place 2 teams landed there, and they're fighting already. And then a team did land down in containment, so we might have to kind of have. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? If you see a blue bin, let me know. Just be watching behind us.
just made
They're probably gonna push out that way. Alright, what do we do here? Because we're in a really weird place with the ring. Right. I think we should check back here. Because there was only 2 teams, so they're gonna have to fight. Because even 2, we can escape. If there is another team. Let's get ripped. Ooh, nice. My baby bruiser. Is the ship landed there? Yeah, no. Where did the ship land? No.
I'm out of armor.
Yeah, just be ready. Stay together. Yeah, they're here. 2 teams landed here. They probably pushed out, it looks like. They killed the team. Probably went here. Oh, Rugger Rat. Sweet, dude. We probably only got 20 of the top 20 of the top 20 players in the world in this lobby.
That'd be really sweet if there was a heart somewhere.
I want that badge though. You have no armor, dude. You better be careful, man.
Post it there. Fourth place.
Alright. This is a dangerous spot. Yeah. I got a gold barrel, so.
Doing a lot better than how we started, dude.
Oh, nice. There's a bruiser if you want one. You know what, man? I actually want the bruiser. There's a digi threat. Yeah, we need to get out of here because we're on the ring's edge. I think we should like go up here. They're fighting on the hill. Still though, the ring's not closed. Oh, right here. He's popped. Like popped. I popped him bad, but he just ripped me. He's ripped. They're getting rushed. We need to push. Go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yep, just like I was thinking. Dead. Dead. I tried to self-res. I'm gone. I made it out. They're gonna rush. No, they're not. I did self-res. I got killed. Dude, just res us. Just crawl away. They're gonna... It's already too late, yeah. Just run. I'm looking. Yeah, they're getting pushed. You're good. You're good. I'm good. Oh, no. They just came up from that way, another team. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen.
You've been dropping at good spots, dude.
You were good, but that team came over the hill from no man's land. I knew that was gonna happen though. I knew we should have just hidden that top part. It's just how it works at that level. Just have to play so passive. Yeah, at 1 o'clock is when it's incredibly hard. It goes to the highest rank. Yeah, it goes to the highest rank. You can connect the Europe servers. really care, honestly. If we're gonna rank up, we just gotta play a bit differently. Gotta play more passively. I knew once we pushed down there, it was a wrap. We're dead. Because we're on Ring's Edge and there's literally like 10, 12 teams. That means there's probably 20, top 20 ranked players in the world. And it doesn't matter how good you are at that point, you're gonna get waxed. I think that's the hard thing to see though. Is it's like, well, you're kind of staying back, but it's like, you're not staying back. You're preserving your life.
Hey, here's a sniper up here if somebody wants it.
Because as soon as we went down there, there was 4 or 5 other teams.
Went right in here. Ready, guys?
Yeah. I'll.
Yeah, you go one way, I'll go the other.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in here.
Man, they already know who the realest, but they say it too religious. Drake drop guy playing you with it, now you looking too suspicious.
You're gonna play Watson? Good thing I picked Pathfinder then, because then I can move us across the map. Well, it's a passive lobby. There's still 57 teams.
You see him, Tigo?
I'm watching. I'll watch. We're good. Every other team has diamonds. Yeah, every other team has diamonds, but overall we're like clean. Yeah. I don't see one predator.
Now drop on your guys' marker, we clear. Guys, end up getting that team though that was in that house. Okay, so
Did you watch the championship, Helljumper?
I'm gonna go with him when I get my armor.
You know who won? Johnny's gonna love me saying it. Oh yeah, they lost. They love. Yeah, the controller players won. First time. Yeah, snipe down. First time too, they all played together. Nope. He's actually on mouse and keyboard now. He switched. Yep. He's already in Masters. Predators, actually. In 2 weeks. But I don't think he's close to as good. So. A lot of players. Oh yeah, he played on the Scuff. Same with Average Aiden. He switched. Yeah, he's a...
Yeah, I'll take the legendary. Alright, Tigo.
I got a longbow and a...
Which one's closer? Is this one?
All I got is a Prowler.
The champion has been eliminated.
Want to go down here?
Let's go this way.
We're close. 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was different for me. Yeah, they could
Got my longbow fully kitted. I don't want it. I need something else. But this is my weapon set, so. One shield? That's weird.
I can see that the roof's moving on the map.
R9 in a dream. Let me know if you see a select. Oh, you dropped it? Okay, I'll take that then. Got no close range though.
Jesus wept, guess that's why I'm always going through it. From the dirt came the rose, and I feel like DeMar. From the earth, dust to dust, I was chosen and called. It was different for me, yeah. They could see the vision.
Oh! Down the other one. I down the other one. Nice. No, there's still one. He's somewhere. He wasn't out here. The other one wasn't out here. Yeah. I don't know where he went, but he wasn't out here. Going up. Oh, he's right here. He's right here. He running? Yeah, he's a path. He's a path. It's a path. Yep. Up top. He's not a no-scope me. Oh, dude. Well, we did get the real jump on them. They were in a hallway with arc stars and longbow downrange. That was just... I'd rather be here. Yeah. Me personally. Is this looted? I don't know if it is looted.
We got ourselves a new kill leader.
One fallen parachute.
Oh. Oh, here. 58. Right here. The guy is so far though. I mean, you're talking hundreds of meters. Watch right here. Yeah. Coming right here. 55. Right here. Setting his smoke. Can you set up, like, lock it down?
He's reloading, go.
Yeah. Oh, right here. He's running, he's running, he's running. He's running. He's coming back here, he's coming back here. One guy, all I saw was a Bangalore. All I saw was a Bangalore, but we should probably try to cut him off. Yeah, they're already set up. I'm not gonna push that. Yeah. Oh, right here. It's just sitting out there. outside the ring. 58. It's right here. $88. He's hurt bad. Right here. Knocked. He's popped right here. See him? Knocked. Not sure. He's rising. You got him? Nice. I gotta throw this out. Where do you want to go? Very left? Let's go very left. Yeah, let's go very left. I can zip us. That Kate, that's the hot spot. Yeah. Gonna go up here. I mean, that will put us adjacent, like, ring's edge. Right here, right here. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, there's a team up here, up here. Popped. They went inside. Get ready. I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. He's got devotion. He's almost dead. He's almost dead. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. Can someone res me quick? They're dead. I'm trying. I'm coming. Oh, dude. I'm gonna try to... Dang it. I'm gonna try to drop. Trying to crawl away. Oh, no. Crap. They're not jumping down. Dang it. A devotion? Are you serious, man? Didn't do bad. I kind of just want to play pubs. I think it's just too sweaty and kind of just want to run around. Unless y'all want to still play ranked. Okay, we can do our best. That was so whack, dude. It was just perfect though. Like all the teams convened there. They all rotated there. Yeah, I just didn't think that was the chance probability of someone being there. Really, we could have went up the hill, and there could have been a team there. Yeah. Right. I come up, right? First guy, Wraith with a devotion. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Oh my gosh. Out of everybody I could have faced, a Wraith with a devotion. Yeah. You're gonna do what? Oh, these are a good lobby. Let's do. You want to do a containment? It's too late now. Yeah, let's just go back here. Either here, one of these two. Yeah, we're good. This is a good lobby. Okay. I don't see anybody. All I see is one team that is dropping very far, and yeah, every team is dropping way away from us as far as I can see. I don't think so. Oh, they split? Okay. If we split, then let's get him. Solo. It's perfect for us. Are they in there? Like, are you on them? Okay. Alright, well, let's just try to get whatever we can and push over there. Yep, I'm right behind you. I go to God and God go to work cause he hear me and he know my face. If you hear me, you hear me. I cut to the bull. Just give me a knife in the stake. Until I'm back broke with a
It was.
took a break. I can see the truth and the fake.
I'm gonna scout. Yep, I see him. He's in the back. He's in the back. He's right here. Flash. Yeah, he can't be far though. He's gotta hide. The way he made it out this void that quick. Unless he's in the building. I think I just heard him in the building. He's Pathfinder. Yep.
I don't know, but it's better than nothing.
There's another team here too fighting. Because I just saw a Gibraltar shield go down. Right here in the back. Oh, he's dead. Just run. Yeah, I'm running back because I need to get a shield. There's a blue shield right here. Are you fighting? Or are you coming back? Okay. Alright, he got lasered by a charge rifle. Yeah. Yeah, they shot a charge rifle. His body, all I saw was his body flying. It was running hard. Yeah, his team's dead. He did die instantly. He just flew in the air and his box appeared. Yeah, so his team is dead. That means somebody killed them.
Have to go in the circle.
Alright, let me get up here. Check. Drop the light mag. If you see a R99, let me know. I got a nice gold barrel. I've been getting gold barrels every game.
Let him shoot out.
Just gonna let him see me. Why not? There you go. Alright, that's 40 seconds, so.
Oh, team white.
Yeah, they're just staying back. Easy out Gibraltar. They're pushed. Pushed.
They have to come to us. No, they don't.
Yep. Here. Is that yours? No, that's his. Behind us? Let's go to the right. Let's go to the over here? Where? I don't see anybody. Oh, they're hiding that over there. Okay.
I know. That riot shield would actually be useful.
Alright. We're in a bad place here. Let's push here. Let's push up here. Let's push around at least.
Final. Are they still up there?
They're fighting back there. Yeah, let's go back here. Let's push these guys. You want to push up there? Okay. I just figure if we push back there, we know where everybody is. Yeah, we don't know how many teams are here. Knocked. Alright, you're alone, dude. You're alone. Yeah, you're alone. Coming. I got you. You're good. I got you. It's good. They're recalling somebody, I think. They're spawning too. So.
Dude, that was so whack that it ended on the top of a building.
You didn't get a kill?
That's terrible.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
They had the best.
Where? Where? Oh, right here. Whoa. They lit me up. I'm good. He's on top. Oh. He's out here. Low. Okay, good. I gotta heal. Just stay back. Don't run out there. I don't know how many teams there are. Okay. What? Oh my gosh. You got your thing? Yeah, please. Another team's running in. Just stay inside. Stay inside. Bait them into us. She's popped. Choked. I got him. I'm good. Here. What do you want to do? I missed so many shots. I need shotgun ammo.
Attention. There is a new kill leader.
I need shotgun ammo. Probably didn't push us. Yeah. Is there any better backpack? There we go. There's one. It's him? How far is he? Oh, they're running. Right here. Running. He's right here. White armor. What do you want to do? I hear that too. I think it's like echoing through the wall. Or white armor though. What is he gonna do? Popped like flesh. Hard. What are these guys doing? I've never seen charge rifle. Here, I'm gonna distract him. That was a worse zip line. I am too. Right behind you. Where'd they go? They ran. Dude, what the heck is up with this team? They put Revenant things. Yeah, they put Revenant things in the door. I'm not going anywhere down there. They're coming out the portal. What the heck? No. They're gonna run. Yep. Gonna run. Dude, I have never seen a team like this. I'm not gonna chase them any longer though. It's a wrap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm 90 and 9. Yeah, what's the random fact? Hit me. Hit me with the random fact. Yes. Modo. Maug. Swoop. Oh, there's a charge rifle, boys. Listen to him. I say we just... Can you set up right here? Just lock it down. I'm good right here. And then we can come out, peek over here, have some fun. They're set up there. They're getting pushed now, too. No, yeah, set up back here. And then we can push in and out. They just got Pathfinder rushed right now. There's 3 teams. Yeah, they're running now. I don't think we pushed them, that team. Let's go over there. Let's go over there. Let's go. I see what you're going for. Yep. Yep, I'm good. Do you want to go up there? I got my zip. Let's just set up right here. Yeah, just lock this down. Let's just play it safe. Yeah, what's the random fact? Keep looking over. What is it? Tell me! You can bunny hop for like 3. Alright, I'm just setting that up. I mean... Oh, he's cracked. Flesh. I'm just getting some damage. It could end right here, so this is ring end. It's either gonna end here or it's gonna end right there. Where? Oh, that's out there? Yeah, let's just leave it. They're gonna come out here. Yep, let's go. Let's just check it. We're not. We're just going right here. Pathfinder's almost dead. Oh, I'm coming back. No, 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 no. I'm running, dude. About to do an old smackaroni in the door. That's a wrap. You're gonna have a hard time. Oh, you already made it back. I was gonna say, you're about to get waxed. We're good, dude. We got the W right here. Oh, dude, you're placing more. You're breaking them. Yeah, that's mine. Yeah, I'm hiding. I can do whatever they want with their ciphers. So we gotta watch bottom left. No, a guy's gonna be coming up there. If you need to, armor swap, armor swap. So, just in case we need to. All we gotta really do is when this team... Is this from the bottom left? Keeping those open because I want to see. Someone watch that left. I got the right. Watching over here. I see them. Right here. They're coming out. They're getting ready. They're drop. He's right here. I'm just trying to see what he's trying to do. Yep. There's a guy in the bottom though. Be careful. He might be a flanker. Oh no, that's another team. He's pushing another team in the bottom. There's another team. They're fighting down here now. See him? It's okay though. Let's just make sure we watch out for this team. There's that team that they don't have any loot or anything, so they shouldn't be a big threat, but they're still there. They could have got their loot again. I don't know. Yeah, I see him. Yep. He's missed every shot. Nice, nice. Right here, Wraith. Right here. He's coming. I got him. He's low. He's burning. He's burning. You good? We're in the best spot. Actually, we're in the only spot. They're all gonna die. How close are you to your ult? We can drop down here though. Yeah. Yep. We got 90 shots. Hey, get up here, get up here. Okay, look where I am. That's a bait. All right. Here, I'm gonna watch this way. I'm gonna watch this way. Johnny, watch the other way, cause I'll zip over there. Yeah, just let me see. They're coming out there. Coming out there. I'm watching this way. I don't see anybody. Yep. Good. They're out here. Below me. Right here, fighting. He's right here. He's red. He's red. I got 24 on him. Here, set up here. Set up here. Set up. Lock this down. Lock this down. Lock this down, though. There's a guy right here. Lock this down. He's behind us, dude. He's like trying to teleport. We're not. Get that. Set up here. Set up here. He's knocked. Knocked him. I knocked 2 of them. That's team down. No, you're good. That's team. There's only like a solo somewhere. I don't know where he is. I think there's a solo out here. Just lock it down up here. Put your fences everywhere. Yeah, that team's dead. Yeah, are you ready? I'm ready. I want to get the W. Where is he? Is he above us? Where is this guy, dude? Is he up here? Maybe? I'm not sure. I got my zip, so. Where is he? Oh, he's right here. He's right here. He's going right here to my left. Let's go. Yeah, that was perfect. Those call-outs were nice. When you said, oh, coming in with the portal, I just looked over, lasered that caustic down, and then they rushed y'all up in there, and then I just lasered it. Oh, my neck, that feels so good. Yeah. This is the first time I've really played ranked. I've went up almost 2 ranks. W. There goes the W. Drop some GGs in the chat. Drop some GGs. I'm getting crafting medals, but where's my Apex packs? Yeah, he said he was gonna go to bed at
Got me on my knees, feeling wavy with me, on the screen. Yo, if you riding with us, get the keys. Like, is it difficult? No, it's a breeze. It's a breeze, boy, I told you it's a breeze. Yo, it's a breeze, boy, I told you it's a breeze. Yo, it's a breeze, boy, I told you it's a breeze. I'm up in the VIP and it's all on GOD. It's a breeze, boy, I told you it's a breeze. Yo, it's a breeze, boy, I told you it's a breeze. Yo, it's a breeze, boy, I told you it's a breeze. I'm up in the VIP and it's all on GOD. this K, homie. HGA, take it that way, homie. I've been on 10 for a decade, homie. Me and Bay courtside like a nest game, homie. Who is that with the tack and the fresh name on them? Go to bat for the cats that you laugh at, homies. With the dance on the track, this is AK, homie. With immaculate facts for the namesake only. Rather did my chips and underprivileged give away like I could pick a winner. Gary V is not a mentor in here, but you think he was by how we live it. Yeah, rep gang, please don't call me fake bait, cause all of this mug is y'all way, all of us up like all day, yeah. Rep gang, rep gang, rep gang. Truth radiate like X-ray.
Yeah, dude.
I can't stop like
So I am an actor. Fill up the tank, I'm gassed up.
Yeah, I was plat 4 bottom. Pretty. I'm halfway to diamond already. See, I'm gonna see. I want to get you to masters, man. I'm gonna talk to Misery, or maybe Crummy if he'll play with us. I think Crummy's number 48. Yo, let's run it. Yeah, but we really changed the flow of the game. Yeah, we changed the flow of the game because we blocked that transition point. The team couldn't come out of the exactly. This looks like a pretty good lot. There's Pearson right below us. This is only a team. So if they land by us, dude, we land on one person and punch them out. I'm not playing. They're not though, they're not. They're still at the top. They're at the top. Okay. Got him. I'm here. Always one shot. Another team's coming though. Another team's coming. I should have got him first. Dang it. Just trying to. Yeah, wall it up. You good on heals? They didn't have any armor, so we need to push out the back. Yeah. Here, I'll lead the way. Check this box up here. Check that box up there. I don't think these. Yeah, they're just watching. They're watching. Just run though. I'm gonna. There's a Wraith on you. There's a Wraith. No. Just run. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh! Dude, I hit him 110. I knocked her. Doesn't even matter. Aim couldn't have been any better. mean, dude, we did excellent. I think we got, well, before we played with you, we won like 3 games. Yeah, we got like what, probably, we've got like maybe 800 to 1,000 with how many we've lost. Because we won like 5, and we got good ranking on at least 2. We only got bad placement on maybe 4 games total, maybe 5. Yeah, we did really good. Yeah. And if we would have played smart, those 2 games full of Predators, we could have got points, but we just played it.
Yet we worship, giving all the praise, just humble servants, till sweat and tears, till no more fears, singing the glory of the gospel out to every end. This life that reside in my tongue,
Do you want to play duos? L Dropper? Can you add me? I can't add you, I don't have overlay. Oh, see ya, buddy. Good games. Alright, I'm gonna switch to her. Wow, you're not bigger than me. So funny. You're so much bigger. Alright, thanks. Alright, guys. I'm gonna cut off the stream. Kind of just want to play some duos, chill out. Thanks everybody for coming out. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, appreciate the support. That's for sure. It's been a really good night. Peace.